Yo, it's your homeboy Kirasagi in the building. Quick disclaimer, there's some construction going on here where I am right now, so I apologize if you hear random background noise randomly. But that's all I can do. All I can do is apologize. I can't really do anything about the noise. Yeah, so I've done the Law versus Luffy fight in the past, and I want to do more fight videos, because I think that's something that people are really looking forward to. However, I looked back at the video, and the format I used isn't very flexible. I did get my points across, but that's about it. It's not a format that can be used for every single time. I mean, I can't push my points forward every single time, but I think I think this new format I've used is more versatile, more flexible, more universal, all that good stuff. And I've chosen Luffy versus Enel because I think the winner is clear in this scenario. And basically, if this doesn't work with fights that have already happened, then it is completely invalid. So I'm starting with these guys. Let me know what you guys think. But without further ado, let's start. So right now you should see an infographic which shows on the far left you have aspect, which are the different categories. I'm gonna judge each contestant in. In the middle you have the contestants. Right now just two, Luffy versus Enel. On the far right, in the far right column, you have total. And the way total works is the first row of total refers to the first row, the score for the first row. The second row refers to the total score of the first two rows, and it continues like that to the last row, which is basically the grand total, is the total for all the rows combined. So without further ado, let's start. So first we have melee, and melee refers to fighting ability without double fruit. And for Luffy, he gets 2 points. 1 point for speed, 1 point for strength, the usual stuff, and 1 point for resistance to blunt attacks. Now this is from his double fruit, and I did say no double fruits. However, he's not actively using double fruit. This is a passive ability, so I'll just throw that in there. For example, Buggy would get 1 point for not being able to slash, that kind of thing. So here, Luffy gets resistance to Enel's blunt attacks. That's definitely good for him. Enel gets 1 point for mantra, but apart from that, his fighting ability isn't really anything special in comparison to Luffy. And again, these are things in comparison. So Luffy has, better strength, better physical strength in my opinion, so 1 point for him. Better speed, 1 point for him. Then the last one isn't really basically he has more resistance to attacks, blunt attacks. So his third point, Enel 1 point for observation haki / mantra, which Luffy does not have. So this is advantages and disadvantages, or what you have that your opponent doesn't. Right now there should be some background noise, so I'm gonna chill a bit, or I think it's gonna be better now. So anyways, that's it for the first row. 3-1 Luffy. It's a nice look. Let's move to the second row. Endurance. Endurance is, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Enel gets 1 point because he made the fight last as long as it did. So he's above further level, but that's about it. Luffy gets, 3 points. And the reason being, it's really hard to judge for Luffy because this is the first time I'm using this format, so I'm not sure where to put this. However, I would say that he is at least 3 times as resistant to damage as Enel at this point in time in the story. So, that's how I came about it with Luffy. I didn't really break it down like the way I broke down melee. So it's kind of iffy, but I think I'll just stick with it. 6-2 for Luffy. It's a good look for Luffy. He's increasing the lead. Now we have adaptability. So what is adaptability? That is creativity in a way. So Luffy, the first point Luffy gets is for the ricochet attack, which he has never used in his life. He made that on the fly to deal with Enel's observation haki. The second point is for his sort of drunken style thing, where he sort of switched off his brain. Again, he made that on the fly for the first time ever, just to deal with Enel. The last one it's sort of iffy, but basically the fact that he could cope with his metal arm, because Enel did handicap him with this heavy metal thing around his arm. So, but the fact that he was able to cope and overcome that obstacle without too much effort, I think that warrants a point. So 2 points for Luffy. Enel, the reason why he doesn't get any points in adaptability is, Enel did put up a fight, he did do some smart stuff, but he didn't bring anything new to the table. All the stuff he's done is stuff that he's done before. He fought with the rod. He could always do that from the beginning, from the get-go. Electrolysis, he could always do that from the beginning. He didn't just think about chemistry for some random reason during the fight and start playing with metal and electricity and stuff. That's something he's always been able to do. So no points for Enel in adaptability. 9-2 Luffy, very nice lead. Now we have technique. This is going to change depending on who's fighting who, you know. But right now it's mainly two double fruit users. Luffy isn't a brawler like Sanji or well, you could call him a brawler, but I think his double fruit does most of the work, or it's like 50-50 at least. So in same with Enel. Well, Enel, his double fruit does most of the work, but during this fight it was sort of 50-50. So this is more of how good they are at using their fruits. So you know, if Luffy had gear second or gear third, then this technique thing would have been much higher, and Enel's advantage here would be a lot less. Enel, I think you know he's definitely a master of his double fruit at that point. I don't think he learned much since then because of how good he was with his double fruit at that point. I think easy 5 points for Enel. Luffy gets 1 point because I think if a further opponent had the Gomu Gomu, no, they wouldn't really have quite as much expertise as Luffy. But at the same time, he didn't really bring anything to the table like gear second, gear third. You know, he was like just above average. That's why he gets 1 point. So 10-7, you know, Enel caught up really well. The last one is matchup. Again, just like technique, this is going to change a bit depending on who's fighting who. For example, if we have two swordsmen fighting each other, the matchup thing is not about double fruit anymore. In fact, it's zero because it's, you know, two people fighting each other with their swords. Obviously, if one swordsman has a double fruit, this could change, or if one swordsman has a specific fruit, you know, like maybe if a swordsman has a Zoan fruit, I think it's going to stay at 0-0 or 1 point or something like that. But basically, it's going to change depending on who's fighting who. But in the scenario, again, similar to technique, this is about double fruits. And Luffy has complete immunity to a good majority of Enel's double fruit techniques. So, you know, those 5 points Enel got were kind of useless because of how resistant Luffy is. In fact, he has 100% resistance to a good majority of Enel's attacks, and that's a huge bonus, and that throws Luffy far ahead into the lead. I mean, he's already in the lead, but this just stretches it a lot. And we can see from the grand total that Luffy has pretty much double the points that Enel had. Pretty convincing victory from Luffy, according to this you know, infographic that I put up here and this assessment. And that is something we did see during the fight itself. I think Luffy won convincingly. Crocodile put up more of a fight in my opinion. But it is what it is, you know. This was a really bad double fruit matchup for Enel. You know, it was 5-0. And it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about this whole infograph stuff. What do you think about the different categories? What would you change about anything? Because your feedback is really important. That's the whole point of this video, for feedback, so that future fights are going to be more accurate, and I can you know, tweak the system if needed. But yeah, that's it. Luffy versus Enel. Hit me up with what you think about the system. What would you change? Which points do you think I sort of gave wrongly? All that kind of stuff. That's it for this video. You know, check out my other videos if you're into One Piece or if you like this video. And as always, thank you.